Hello everyone, it's Enigma here, and today we're doing a bit of a different video. Instead of talking about Smash like I normally do, instead, I decided that I am going to be talking about Metroid Prime 4 and some kind of big news that came out about this game. It's actually really big. The news is that Nintendo came out on their YouTube channel. They actually made a video statement about this, saying that Metroid Prime 4 has been in development for a while, but they're deciding to restart everything from scratch. They're restarting everything, and they're working with a completely different, company to work with this game, and that is Retro Studios. Now, I feel there's been a little mixed reaction between people. I've heard some people say that they really love that Nintendo is, taking the time to remake this game and make it even better than what they were planning to, and they're really trying to make this game a really great game. But there's other people that are, of course, going to whine and complain and throw tantrums over it, and they're going to be like, why did Nintendo delay the game? Oh my god, it's the end of the world! Oh, it's going to be 10 years until we play this game! Guys, this is a video directed towards the guys that are just complaining, and I want to clarify that, I basically want to make a video talking about how Metroid Prime 4's massive delay is not a bad thing, and I actually think this delay is going to greatly benefit it, and Nintendo is going to thank themselves, later on. They're really gonna, be thankful that they made this decision. Nintendo is probably going to be really proud of themselves at the end for their decision, and I'm honestly sorry about that. I'm honestly glad Nintendo is making this decision, and I'm going to talk about why this is not a bad thing, and you guys should not freak out. So, and besides, the only real bad thing about this is that we won't be able to play this game until a long time. But that's not really anything too major to complain about. There's a lot of benefits to this being delayed massively. And I'm going to talk about why and why people should just stop freaking out. It's okay. First off, in the words of Shigeru Miyamoto himself has stated this: a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. What that means is that if a game is delayed, it's given enough time, it's given a lot more time to, really, get it running and, get it, to be a great game. But if it's rushed and, they're really trying to just make it to its release schedule, then it's not going to be as good. There's going to be a lot of flaws, and you can clearly tell that they're just trying to make this game put out there and put it to the, the world to see. Development takes time, and time is effort. Time is a very important thing when it comes to video game development. You have to, you have to be patient. You have to, give it some time. It takes a lot of time when developing a video game, and time is important. And if you don't, if you rush out a game, it's not going to be as good, and it's not going to be appealing to most audiences. I really love this line, and it's definitely an important line, because if you rush out a game, it's not going to be as good as if you really, just, take a few years to work on a game. Look at Kingdom Hearts 3, for example. That game was basically in development for, 10 years? About 10 or 5 years. Look at how much content that game has. That game looks literally near perfect. That game looks amazing. But the fact that, but if you look at a lot of games that were rushed, they aren't really that good, and you can just tell that they were just made to push it to release. Example for those games are EA games. I mean, we all know we don't like EA, but they make a lot of rushed games, and, a lot of their games are just not as good. You guys need to understand that, yes, we won't be playing this game for a long time, but development is a thing, and time is important, and it just takes time, And that's kind of one of the hardest parts of being a video game developer, is because you need the time and resources to really expand the game and make it a really memorable game. And that's why, you know, they're doing this, so that they can make the fans happy. You know, if they didn't want to make the... I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, they're doing this, and now they're going to upset the Metroid fans. Oh, it's Nintendo's fault. They're doing the opposite by doing this. They're trying to please the Metroid fans and make the Metroid fans feel loved by Nintendo. They want this game to be... It seems like they want this game to be as perfect as possible. They want this game to be, you know, a game loved by everyone. And, you know, and it shows. You know, Nintendo's coming out and just saying, yeah, they're delaying the game. You know, they couldn't even have... They for all we know, they probably could have just not have said anything at all, and that would be a lot worse if they didn't say anything. I'm thankful that Nintendo said something about this, because this is the type of thing that needs to be said. And it's pretty rare for Nintendo to announce stuff like this in a video. That's what I really love, and it takes a lot to say that stuff. This game needs time, and, you know, just don't freak out. Now, another good thing about this is that because of the company that's, you know, working on the game, Retro Studios. Now, if you guys do not know Retro Studios, then what the hell is wrong with you? They make amazing games. Like, their games are some of the most creative Nintendo games I have ever played. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is one of, if not the best platforming game ever. Like, that game is honestly amazing. It's very creative. You know, the level design is amazing. And, you know, like, soundtrack is amazing. Everything about that game is amazing. And some other games that Retro has worked on is Metroid Prime. Now, if you guys did not hear about the rumors of Metroid Prime 4, Bandai Namco was supposedly the ones working on Metroid Prime 4 before. And I personally believed that rumor, and now that Nintendo came out and said this, I think that rumor basically is true, because, you know, they didn't say who the developer was, but the fact that they said we're switching over to Retro when it honestly should have been Retro to begin with, that basically proves that basically Bandai Namco was probably behind that game. If there is anyone in Nintendo's business to understand the Metroid Prime games and understand the story and the depth and, you know, just what the story is all about and the gameplay, the ones that can best capture the gameplay the most, that would be Retro. Because they've made all 3 of the Metroid Prime games, and those games are really amazing. I recommend trying them. They're really good games, and, you know, the fact that Retro has been behind them, they've been really good games, and, you know, I was kind of worried when I heard that Retro was not behind this game beforehand. You know, I was wondering, you know, how would this game be different? Because obviously, this is not from the same company. It's going to be a lot different than the other Metroid Prime games, and that was one of my biggest worries. But I'm thankful. I'm like, thank God. Like, I could not be more satisfied with this delay. Like, yeah, I understand delays may be disappointing, but this is a good, you know, this is a good example of a good delay. They're making sure that us fans are happy. They want to, you know, they want to make us happy and, you know, give us a good product. Now, I understand if you're disappointed. I'll admit, I'm pretty disappointed. I was getting really amped up. Like, I was like getting ready for next year, because I personally believed that Metroid Prime 4 was ready next year. But it looks like we gotta wait a lot longer than we actually thought. But in the end, we're gonna look back at this 3 years in the future, and we're going to look back at this and we're going to say this was all worth it. Because we're going to be playing an amazing game by an amazing company with, you know, an amazing story, an amazing gameplay, and just in the end, it's all gonna be worth it, and I can't wait for Metroid Prime 4, but I'm happy with this delay. You know, it was delayed for a really good reason. They want to make the fans happy. They want to, you know, have the original developer make this game. Overall, this delay is gonna be worth it, and people just stop freaking out. We're gonna get an amazing game out of this in the end. So let's just be patient. The time will come, and we'll eventually get to try out Metroid Prime 4. It's gonna be very exciting, and I cannot wait. But anyways, what are your guys' opinions? What do you guys think about the delay? Are you still disappointed, or are you not so much? Are you happy for Nintendo's decision? Let me know in the comments down below, and I would love to hear it. Anyways, this has been Enigma, and peace. See you next time.